Well, a very, very happy Tuesday, and welcome to another episode of the TNC Sports Talk. My name is Justin. Today is December 16th of 2025. We are just nine days away from Christmas as we count down to you guys. I hope everyone is enjoying their holiday season, whether it is out there with the families, maybe you're at work, maybe running around picking up those last few presents for those loved ones, or um, we're here talking about sports. Um, Today's episode, I wanted to focus about two specific conversations that we're going to have today. And one is about the Cincinnati Bengals and their future. And two is about Monday Night Raw last night, specifically towards the reaction that we received from Gunther, where he was practically booed out of the arena, and the mystery man revealed from dated back to Survivor Series in San Diego earlier this year. We'll have those conversations. But first, a little bit of TLC. If you guys want to be on our show, if you guys want to be a part of the conversation, which I'm open for, I encourage you and invite you to reach out to me through my YouTube channel at the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, where you can leave a comment in the community chat, and we could get together and collaborate and possibly get you on, or I could share a comment that you want to talk about here in an upcoming episode. I do want to just recap the intended schedule for this holiday season. I intend to have it up a podcast uploaded every night at 7 o'clock, Monday through Fridays, the rest of this week, Monday and Tuesday at least for next week, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the end of the year. Then we'll rejoin back on January 5th. We'll just kick off a new year and all that fun stuff. So it should be a list should be provided in the description below. I know I've posted one, but just so you guys are aware, that's what our upcoming schedule is. I know the holidays, sometimes for those who have to work, hey, what do you want to listen to? And you guys may enjoy listening to me rant about sports, and you get a chance to do so. But we'll have a couple of days off to enjoy the holidays with friends and families, so on and so forth. So working on content on our YouTube channel like always. All I ask is be patient. Holidays can kind of get very tied up very quickly. So the first thing I really wanted to jump into here in this episode, look, we already know that the Bengals are eliminated from the postseason. And I realistically wanted to avoid this conversation until I knew there was no chance for postseason, uh, you know, hopes here. And now our focus kind of shifts towards the end of, hey, what's going to happen during the offseason? Maybe what can we do to improve our team heading into 2026? I know there are some changes that we have to look at. The first thing I wanted to start looking at is and address was this all has, we have a chain of command here, and it starts with the top. Even Zach Taylor said in press conference yesterday that it starts with him. He is the one who he needs to take accountability and responsibility for the outcome of this season. And I respect that. Okay. There's an old saying that goes, you have to identify and come to terms that there is a problem before you can start resolving that problem. I've seen the Bengals time and time again address that there is a problem, but they lack the whole let's resolve the problem. So it makes me believe that the Bengals aren't really interested in fixing their problems. Now, I'd even go one further and say that Duke Tobin is another guy that needs to take some accountability because, great. You've had the deal. You were able to get the deal done with Trey Hendrickson. You're able to pick up Joe Flacco when we needed him the most. You got rid of Logan Wilson, and you know you're able to do some things that a GM should do. But all of those things, to be honest, were bare minimum efforts. Um, when I look at this team, I know that this team needs help defensively. The Bengals didn't do anything to help this team defensively. Duke Tobin didn't do anything to improve this team defensively. Trey Hendrickson goes down, and we didn't go pick up a defensive end. We didn't go pick up a linebacker. We didn't trade for a player. And now, we don't know the status of Trey Hendrickson, whether or not he's capable of coming back. If so, when, and if he's going to be a Bengals player for life. We know we don't have Logan Wilson no more. And I'm not saying, for me, they are top tier players on our defensive squad that we require to be on the field each and every week. Now, we can't go point fingers at Mike Brown. Well, I mean, we can. We could get mad all we want at Mike Brown. But guess what? Nothing's going to happen. Mike Brown is going to be Mike Brown moving forward. He is going to be the owners of the Bengals until the day he dies or the day he decides to step down. And that has nothing to do with us. We could cry and moan and complain about Mike Brown being the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals. But guess what? We have to take it with a grain of salt and just, cheers to it, to be honest. And so we could point fingers at Duke Tobin, but and that's very highly likely, right? But at the same time, he gave us Joe Flacco. We still didn't win. So everything points back around to Zach Taylor. And I'm sorry, I'm not, I personally don't think Zach Taylor is a head coach. I think he's maybe an assistant coach. I think he could be a special teams, right, coordinator. I think maybe I wouldn't put him as defensive coordinator. I wouldn't put him as offensive coordinator. As a matter of fact, if it was me, I'd really consider putting Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin on the chopping block coming up the first day the regular season ends in the NFL. That is Fire Mondays. A lot of coaches get fired that Monday after the season ends, no matter what. Unfortunately, it looks like Duke Tobin and at least Zach Taylor will be sticking around for another season. And what gets frustrating this happened a couple years ago after the Bengals went on this AFC championship run for 2 years, went to a Super Bowl 1 year. They locked in some secret deals that kept them in Cincinnati through the 2026 season. I don't blame you. Usually when you win, that's what you do. You give your coaches and some staff members some extended contracts. But we're at the point where we have missed 3 consecutive postseason opportunities with top tier players like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And if anything reflected this season, and I mentioned a lot yesterday, it almost seems to me, and I question, and if you're not questioning this, I don't know what type of Bengal fan you are. The Bengals, what is Zach Taylor doing to help improve this team? Because over the last 3 weeks alone, it seems to me that Zach Taylor is not the one pulling strings here. It seems like the team Joe Burrow pulls most of the strings when he's on the field. And maybe Zach Taylor puts every ounce of effort into our offensive and defensive coordinators. And if that's the case, both of them need to be fired tomorrow. Okay, let's put it that way. I don't know who's teaching these Bengals how to tackle because they're not tackling. Feels like they're playing two-hand touch. They look like they're scared of the ball, in my opinion. And you're just knowing that Zach Taylor's back at head coach. I feel like we're just got to sit here and eat another year of non-success. And I know that's going to upset and not sit well with a lot of fans. But it's something that we can't do nothing about. Like I mentioned, I question what Zach Taylor does to help improve this team. I question what he's doing during the offseason to help put up a better scheme to help this ball club win. I question what tactics and what motives he had throughout the summer training camps and preseason that he has to get this team ready by opening day. That's one thing I think I get frustrated the most out of anything else on the table is the fact that this Bengals team is not ready to go by opening kickoff every year. I understand people are banged up. We're getting back into shape. You should always be in shape, but I get it. But it's still so, unclear about the Bengals and where they belong at. They're not confident. They're not ready to go. They're not in position that they're ready to tackle on this season when it comes down to week one. We look back on week one this year and we see the Bengals beat the Browns and they probably should have lost. A lot of things went their way that game and they should have lost. And, we barely got by with the Jaguars. Maybe we felt confident in, Jake Browning as our backup quarterback. He failed. Joe Flacco was not given any opportunity, although the opportunity that was presented to him was better than the Cleveland Browns, tarnishing whatever's left of his career. And then Joe Burrow comes in with his facing elimination, and he has this tough part of the schedule where you really just don't know what you have as an organization. And so is it fun right now being a Bengals fan? Is it fun right now watching Bengals play football? Is it fun going out to these games when it's 0 degrees outside and there's snow in the seats and our ownership doesn't want to pay people to remove snow from our seats to give us the best experience possible? Is it fun not having any confidence? Because let's face it, Sunday game looked like everyone was checked out. It looks like the defense was trying to stay alive. It looks like to me that the defense on Sunday was like, well, if we lost, we would have all gotten fired. Okay, so they showed up to play 24 points in the back. But it looked like Joe Burrow was checked out. Looked like everyone else was checked out. They couldn't get nothing going. Injury prevailed. And it looked like people were checked out for the rest of the season. And yet play calling and, time management and strategies from Zach Taylor is coexistence. Now, it's hard for me to say this because I'm not Zach Taylor. I've never coached a football team in my life. I've never been on a staff where I got to witness firsthand about the coaching staff, but I just haven't seen a head coach with so little progress. It is clearly defined what Zach Taylor is capable of doing, and running an entire team is not one of them. There's no motivation in press conferences before and after. It's the same shit, different toilet concept. And Joe Burrow's out here trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. The best way I could put it. And he's not getting anywhere. And so football, if my quarterback is not having fun, I'm not having fun. Okay. And maybe we would have thought of, and I would have had this conversation, throwing out this suggestion of departing ways with Zach Taylor coming the end of the season. And there was a list of head coaches, but it looks like, right? It looks like that we're going to stick with him for another year. Now, anything is given. And, that deal that was done back when they were winning, obviously was right move to do. I think a lot of people at that time would have said, okay, that's fine. But if you look at it now, you're kind of asking yourself, is there any way to get out of this contract? Is there any way to at least open up our options? If we are unable to move past Zach Taylor, there's no confidence that I have for this team to win in 2026. If we don't move past Zach Taylor, then what are our alternate, solutions? I vision that we need to break down our offensive and defensive coordinator positions, our coaching staff. I would honestly go on a hiatus and say that everyone needs to be fired if that's the case, and bring new people in. And then, Duke, you really need to step in there and evaluate this team. Where can we move pieces around? You're not going to have to deal with Trey Hendrickson, which I'm willing to, at this point, move forward from. Make sure we keep our defensive line how it is today. I think we'll be just fine. We got to add some defensive backs, add some cornerbacks to this, whether it's in the draft or free agency or some sort of trade. And I would honestly, Chase Brown's okay. I'd add to the O-line. Every year, it's an add to the offensive line. I think our work is cut out for us. Whether or not the Bengals pursue that, I don't know. But, we're going to sit here and have a miserable offseason and a miserable 2026 if changes are not made. If we don't get our head out of our houses and say, look, we are wasting God's given talent from players who deserve to win, and we're not investing. One thing that I saw that was a concern from the get-go was when we invested our all of our finances into Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, left us no room for the rest of anyone else to sign and to pick up. And it doesn't give us a valid excuse. So, I'm interested in hearing where you guys think this Bengals team this offseason needs to address that. And hey, we're already eliminated from the postseason. I'm still thinking if you're going to put Joe Burrow out there for the next 3 games, which I wouldn't, but if you do, I would argue and say you need to focus on winning these next 3 games and at least finish off the season strong, saying, hey, we have our head together. We're going to go back and continue working on getting better, and we're going to have a much better bounce back season next year. Otherwise, bench Burrow. I don't care. As long as we don't fall behind the Cleveland Browns, then that doesn't make a difference for me. But, we got our work cut out for us, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better considering that Zach Taylor's behind the reign. I like Zach Taylor. I just don't think he's a head coach for the Bengals anymore. All right, holiday season coming up. Make sure you get your tickets. It's the perfect present for that special someone this year, have them kick off 2026 right with Enlighten Studios as they present their new theater production called Grassroots. Come check out their performance at the Artsville Theater in Cincinnati, Ohio, from February 20th through March 1st. Tickets are still available by visiting tickettailor.com. A link will be provided in the description below. Get your tickets this holiday season and don't miss out. Look, Raw is, it's the end of the year and Raw is advancing. We're heading up to these, first SmackDown, first Raw episodes of the new year. CM Punk confronts and responds to Braun Breaker as they are set to clash on the January 5th episode of Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's getting personal, which I think I like. What I like about this is that we see the push they're putting on Braun Breaker. And it's really ultimately, and he's really being aggressive, and as aggressive that he is on promos, okay, it's only gonna be as good as if he can turn over and win matches. He can't go talk the talk and then lose a match. That's not this buildup. The buildup has to be he gets over. So what scares me is come January 5th, and this is me on December 16th thinking about this. Come January 5th, you have two options with goes in two completely different directions. One, Braun Breaker begins this new year off with a victory. He becomes a new World Heavyweight Championship, which takes the title away from CM Punk. And this allows Braun to continue to thrive upwards. Okay? And he heads into WrestleMania looking for that one person who could beat Braun Breaker. Maybe he still is victorious come post WrestleMania. That's a possibility. But right now, they're building him up so high that you can't cut him back down come January 5th, because January 5th holds option number 2. CM Punk beats him, and all of that trash talk, all of those promos, which were really good promos, become all for nothing. This entire, since Survivor Series, even before then, this buildup between the Vision and CM Punk directly becomes a nothing. It becomes a waste of time. So you have two options, and it's going to make a clear directive of how 2026 is going to go for Braun Breaker. Is it going to be the ones where he continues just to win and dominate, or is he going to be one who ends up being, having to struggle and climb that battle? Because the similar storyline is taking place on the other side of the roster. Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, it may be a different stipulation, but the WWE Championship will be on the line, and it's going to be a 2 directive. Now, option 1 for Drew McIntyre, he beats Cody Rhodes, and he finally gains back that title that he should have won and should have kept. So, one hand, you do have Drew McIntyre prevailing. On the other hand, he ends up losing, and he is also back to square one, where his hopes and dreams have always been cut short. My thing is with Drew, for me, it's time due justice. So I think it's time. I think that we have waited so long to push, to hold back from Drew McIntyre. And he's always been up. His number one complaint is that he's always been screwed out of a championship for years. Okay, this just did not take place this past WrestleMania. This has been happening for a few years now. And it's either, for me, if I was Drew, I'm getting sick and tired of it. I'm putting over people. I'm losing matches. I deserve a championship. I'm just this person that can never get the job done. So this declarated wrestler is not able to climb and get that and break that ceiling, so to speak. So we have that. And in my eyes, I'm ready to see that Drew success again. I think he deserves a, another run beyond COVID that can portray a real champ, like another strong champion before his time is done. Braun Breaker can be somebody who you could wait off on. But if you're going to do that way, an outside interference, maybe it's this mystery man, Austin Theory, that is the one to cost the Vision, the Ultimate Vision, which is the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm up in the air. I don't know. I think it creates, some options there. Now, there was also some unspoken message with Roman Reigns at the end of Survivor Series, and we could possibly see this take 3 between Roman and Cody. If we do, could it be Roman returning to cost Drew this title and make his presence known? But yet again, you're taking one away from Drew time and time and time again. So we're kind of in a catch-22. I mean, could we see both Braun and Drew walk away champions come the beginning of the year? That would be a big shift in the WWE. It would. But, I think that they have been built up for great matches, but I feel like they leave a sour taste if a certain outcome doesn't turn out to be. So we talk about this mystery man. Let me just date back to what's been happening last couple of weeks. Survivor Series, this mystery man debuts and it costs Team CM Punk the title. And now he's kind of been running with the Vision, maybe on his side or not. There were plenty of speculations of who could this mystery man be. Turns out to be Austin Theory. And I think maybe it doesn't take people by surprise. But I was honestly surprised from the WWE that they were willing to reveal this early on. I would have toyed with it and extend this gimmick out through the rest of the year. Maybe even leading up to this Braun Breaker CM Punk match. I didn't see the WWE revealing, or the reason why the WWE needed to reveal Austin Theory right here, right now. Because he could have been a reason why CM Punk loses his World Heavyweight Championship. So I was a bit surprised to see when the reveal was. But so Austin Theory is not a surprise. Maybe this could be a missing man for the Vision. I know this is another name that they're looking to push. I think here's the concept. John Cena has retired. You have guys like Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Austin Theory. We are establishing our heels, Drew McIntyre, for 2026 and heading into WrestleMania. These are all going to be partaking in big WrestleMania matches, I believe. I could see a CM Punk and an Austin Theory immediately off the top of my head. I could see so much take place. But personally, like I said, if I was kind of booking it and kind of getting along into this, I would have waited a little bit longer to see Austin Theory revealed. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre had this home, battle where Nick Aldis showed up to Drew's house and with security and police, and Cody ends up showing up uninvited. A brawl breaks out in the parking lot, in the corridor, in the whatever you want to call it. Can't think of it right now. Cul-de-sac. And Cody gets arrested, and we will have a match. I think Drew still has the stipulation is Cody cannot touch Drew until their match, and Drew gets to name the stipulation to the match. So we'll be that's going to be a fun feud. I think it needs to be inside a steel cage, Hell in a Cell, Last Man Standing, something. And like I said, I still think that one of either Drew or Braun Breaker needs to advance. Other news coming out today is Mick Foley is parting ways with the WWE, despite his out view, despite WWE's close relationship with President Donald Trump. So, love Mick Foley, not going to get into political beliefs. He chooses, or he has chose to take a direction, and he has all right to, that doesn't follow his beliefs. And so I wish him the luck. I feel maybe he was an ambassador at a time for the WWE, making appearances, but that's his own prerogative. All right, last but not least. So Gunther had an interesting opening to Raw last night. Comes out and just brags and shows off and taunts everybody from the WWE universe to the commentator team, to Adam Pearce, to wrestlers, that he was the one who beat John Cena. And he made him tap. I don't know why so many people have given him so much hell over. Yeah. I don't know what were people thinking of? Did you really just expect Gunther to lay down and let John Cena pin you? I mean, I'm trying to put this together, guys. Come on, help me out a little bit. What were you expecting Gunther to do at Saturday Night Main Event? Because I wouldn't have envisioned that he was just going to roll over and allow John Cena to beat him and then walk away glamorous. Oh, well, you lost to John Cena. Come on. Gunther beat John Cena fair and square. He made him tap. And no one else is going to get the opportunity to beat John Cena. Nonetheless, make a guy tap who hasn't tapped in over 20 years. So why do we hate him? Because he's killing off legends and he's accomplishing things that were going to be accomplished anyways. He's adding to his resume. I mean, you look at a guy who has won the King of the Ring tournament last year. He's been he has the record for holding the Intercontinental Championship. He's a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. He beat Goldberg in his final match, sending him off into retirement. He didn't retire Goldberg. Let's make that clear. He beat him in Goldberg's final match. He didn't send John Cena and forced him to retire. John Cena was going to retire regardless after Saturday. He just beat him. He earned his opportunity to be John Cena's final opponent, and he beat him. I don't know about you, but he's creating this resume that is standing out among the rest. Reminds me a lot about Brock Lesnar. Comes in, conquers, defeats, goes home. He will get his championship match when he wants. But you know what? He closed out. I mean, and what do you expect? It didn't turn out to be John Cena's way. And you can't blame no one else but John Cena. I mean, I hate to be that Debbie Downer here, but I applaud for what Gunther has done. And he has the right to taunt about it. Now, I'm sure probably in the next 2-3 weeks, beginning of the year, the Royal Rumble, yada, 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 whatever, I'm not going to be pleased to see what I'm not going to be pleased with him still taunting it. But regardless, he's out there taunting it. But we got to give Gunther a little bit more respect, because he's another guy that maybe is on that verge of bouncing back for a successful 2026. It's this new era coming along. We got to build this talent. It's been solely surrounded by CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins over the past few years. Now we got to build in that Braun Breaker, that Austin Theory. If we're going to give him that push, give it to him now. That Gunther back in that picture again. Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul. I'm going to throw in that we need to get Logan, LA Knight in this picture of success. 2026 is this room for improvement. And if we don't capitalize, we're going to be stuck on the same top 4 or 5 guys again that is on the back end of their career, not young and fresh and ready to go for the next 4 or 5 years. But with that being said, that is all the time I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Appreciate everyone's support, whether you guys are listening to me on one of your audio platforms or you're watching us on our social media accounts. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And be sure to have those notification buttons on. And don't miss a single episode. Until next time, thank you and have yourself a nice day. Take care.